Welcome everyone, Jerry's Old Guy Review, and one of my favorite segments and the first of the new year. Ask a question, get an answer. This is the Guillaume edition. I'm learning new words. So, Guillaume was asking me about how I do the dirty look on the trucks. Now, I'll tell you, this is a learned thing. Years and years and years ago, I believe it was RC Car Driver magazine. He did up a car, and when I first saw it, I was like, wow. So this guy's got a dirty car sitting for all these pictures? Well, then he explained his process, and I said, that is pretty neat. But, you know, a lot of us, we spend the money on these vehicles, you get them home, God, they look good. You spend a bunch of time painting them up. Ooh, man, did I do a good paint job. And you love the truck. You take it out, you get it dirty. Oh man, I got to clean this truck off. So I know it takes a little bit of rewiring the brain to take a brand new truck, brand new beautiful paint job you put on it, and make it look dirty where it never gets clean again. I'll tell you, I went through it myself. Right now, out of the few couple of trucks that I actually own, I think 3 of them, I'm looking over there at my shelf where there's just a couple of vehicles sit there. You guys know from Let It Fly on Fridays, there's just a couple in the background. And yeah, there's only 3 that I've done this technique to. I've done it for some friends, but it's even worse when you're doing it for a friend, when they say they want it to look dirty. So basically, you're going to want to gather your materials together. You're going to want a spray can of paint, preferably a dark earth color. I really like using, if I'm using the air gun, then I use, enamel paints, preferably a camo kit. They make a lot of those testers camo kits for a vehicle. If I'm using a can, I will use the camouflage spray paints, where I will mainly pick up brown, sand, or tan. Because a lot of times the tan and the sand is usually a little darker than the tan. So I will collect those items and a little fan, preferably a box fan, something that has, an adjustable setting on it, so it's, 1, 2, or 3. That's the quick and easy technique that I use mainly in the summertime. I use the airbrush in the winter because it's more controlled. You're not spraying paint all over the place. But the fan technique does it faster. So Guillaume, what I do with these trucks, let's see, I actually did the truck on the right, my axial 6x6, I did that with the box fan technique. The left one, my HG models, I did that with the airbrush. And if we look at them closer, they're not as pronounced with a camera. So you can see where that is unremovable dirt. and it's on the windshield with the windshield wipers, and got some on the side. I actually did this one. You put a box fan in front of it, check your distances, feel how much air, because you want to go for like it was following a vehicle on the road. And all I do is once I feel that air, then I will spray in front of the fan. Now, if you've never done it before, this is the perfect technique to experiment with a piece of paper, or a box is the best thing. I take a box. When I started, I took a box, put a piece of paper on it, a white sheet of paper, set the box fan up, and then sprayed on a little picture I drew of a truck to see what it looked like. That was the first time I'd ever done it. You're going to want to, this is my little quick trick right off the bat. When you get these, see I've glued these down since I've gotten it so they don't move, the wipers. But if they're screw on, or before you glue them, if they're separate, I tape off this the front windshield, take a Sharpie marker, move the wiper up and down, and I just trace along with the way the wiper goes. And I do that for both sides till they converge here, and you do the same thing. You know, you can lightly cut them on here, or what I like to do is I keep a extra empty roll of masking tape, and once I trace it, say like there's your masking tape, you're gonna have to generally use 2 pieces, pull it off the window, save an empty roll from one of these, run it on here, and then you can cut out the shape. It won't be perfect unless you get one of the really fat ones. This is only I think this is only 1.5 inches. I don't have any of the 2-inch stuff. Or I use my board. Lightly cut it out, stick the pieces back on, and then do my spraying. And once it's dry and you peel these pieces off, you're going to have the wiper marks. Now, like I said, looking at it on a camera angle, it's not as pronounced as it is in real life, because when I can peek over and look at the camera, and it just doesn't catch it as pronounced as it looks. So this looks really weak, but when you look at the truck in person, it's a lot thicker. And I make sure it's on the bumpers. Sometimes if you want to get the wheels, like this one, I've set the truck up on a stand and spin the tires, and then spray in their vicinity. And then if you're lucky, it'll throw it up somewhere else. But you really don't want to go that heavy. The 803, since I had already painted it camouflage, I didn't really mind. But being that this was going to be a working truck, you know, once again, it's really faint. But I did this one. This one was off the vehicle when I cut it on the Unimog. This one, I traced it on the truck, and it's very pronounced where the X-Acto knife did it. So I wasn't superly pleased with that. But there you go. Just some quick and easy, something you can actually test before you do it, so you're not completely committed. Because it is kind of daunting if you're taking a truck that's really nice, and then you're making it dirty, permanent. It's kind of crazy. But meanwhile, you want to make sure that you have everything done on this vehicle before you do the dirtying up, or you're going to be constantly mending. So it definitely gives you time to see if you're really done before you do this. Because then if you got to start, you put different mirrors on it or you put a light bar on it, you want to make sure that everything's on it before you do this. Because it's really tough to match once you've dirtied it up and you put something new on it to dirty up that new part to look like the rest of the things. And I'm not going to lie, I tried to avoid the lights. They're going to get, no matter what you do. But you don't want to shine, you don't want to spray directly at your lights. This truck's got the little marker lights, and it's got the two big lights, and it's got the light bar. The light bar, I actually took the covers off, put a little tape on every one of them, so it's still as bright. The 803, I actually did a flat first on it before I did the dirtying up. So the headlights, the little whoopee light on top, they already had a flat on them. So I just did the quick spray to give it the dirty. The Unimog actually has that's got some real dirt on it still. I try to only clean in the axles once the body's been dirty outside. That's not really a part of the drivetrain, the drive system, so I'm not worried about that. But you can take the body off, you can clean up the underside. But if you've detailed, like this one, because it had just straight gray wheels on it, I wanted to make sure I dirtied them up a bit to tone them down. But being that it was kind of a military sort of pretty truck, I didn't want to do, rusty wheels and stuff on it. So I just preferred dirty wheels. So no matter how much I clean that truck, it's dirty for life. So Guillaume, I hope that was adequate enough of a explanation so you can start testing your own theory out. If it's cold where you are, use the airbrush in the garage. If it's warm, use the fan out the back door. Great dual stage method I use for different climates. Because God knows I'm in Alaska, so if I waited for it to be warm, I would never get anything done. So Guillaume, thanks for stopping by. Again, been by numerous times. I appreciate you. For the rest of you, I know there's some sass on somebody's tongues. There's a couple of somebodies who think I'm just hiding out in my garage, loving on Wranglers, loving on Dodge. Yeah, you're wrong. I am doing other things, waiting for my Dodge parts to get here. As usual, they got to come from Italy. So there's that. Other than that, I apologize for the SCX 24s in the background. Hey, one's new, one's old. They've gotten to know each other. Things happen in the workshop. So everybody, thanks for coming by. Hopefully this tip works for more than just Guillaume. And more to come later on. Let It Fly on Fridays will be here. Just going to be kind of hanging out this week. And then this weekend, hopefully, more Dodge updates. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you want to be bothered in the middle of the night because I decided to upload a video. I appreciate it. Happy New Year to everybody. Till we meet again. Bye-bye.